Right Balance podcast. I'm Diane Wright, your host. Here is where I'd like to share stories and interviews with leading practitioners and coaches, all under the health and wellness umbrella. We'll be including holistic therapies, inspirational people, and a vast array of experts to help you get on the right path. Join me every week for advice and information that will offer help and support, because we all need the right balance in life. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Right Balance podcast. I've got an amazing lady here with me today. Sharon Taylor from Complete Harmony is a health and wellness practitioner in self-love. I love that word, Sharon. It's fabulous. If you are a busy mum, forgetting about your self-help and forgetting about the to-do list, then this lady is for you. Or if you're in any kind of senior management role where, again, that, oh my God, I must do this for myself, or I must do that for myself, must be done, and you forget about it, you just haven't got time, I would love to introduce you to Sharon Taylor, because she will change your life. Welcome, Sharon.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Di.
It's
great
lovely
introduction there.
Oh, I'm pleased. It's true. It really is. I've read a lot of your reviews, and it's fabulous work. And I think it's becoming more and more apparent that we do need to get off this hamster wheel and stop and readjust and listen to the body.
We do, yeah. And we've been able to do that. We've had more time to do that over the last, say, 18, 20 months. Yeah. Have time to stop and think about, what is happening to our body? What do we want? And how can we start to, look after ourselves and sort of own our health and wellness?
Absolutely. You've done this for a number of years as well. But I would like to start way back at the beginning if we can. How did this all start, Sharon?
So I've always been interested in aromatherapy, the different oils and what they could do from a young age, really. And left school, went into working for local government, which I loved and enjoyed in different departments. But as the years went by and I had two children of my own, life got a bit more stressful in terms of the work got stressful, the getting backwards and forwards from work to be with the children was stressful. So to help me to relax, I started doing short courses at college for night school for different therapies. And then a friend at work said, why don't you do a full-time course? And I pointed out to her, I'm actually working part-time, so that might be a bit tricky. But then I found a course. I thought it was a part-time course, and it turned out to be a full-time course. So I had a word with my manager, and they let me change my hours and change the days that I was working to accommodate. It was really good of them.
Oh, that's fabulous to be able to do that as well in that role that you were in.
Yeah. It was a lot of hard work. It was 6.5 days a week. That was my week, working and college. So I had half a day to myself, which I played hockey on that half a day on a Saturday afternoon. That was my time. But work, I passed all the course the first year. Wasn't quite confident enough to start seeing clients. So I did another year, only part-time this time. So I did the 2 years, and then work started to get even more stressful. I was seeing a few clients sort of on the side, but I didn't have enough time to dedicate to it fully. So I left local government and left all that stress behind and started to work for myself.
Wow. So you've actually been, if you like, the client that you're helping at the moment.
Definitely.
Which is fabulous. You know exactly where people are coming from, you know exactly what they're under. And as a mum of children, young children growing up, etc., and studying in between, that's a big step.
Yeah, I've been there, done that. I've got the t-shirt. I can appreciate how they're feeling sometimes with the pressures of work, and also, as a woman, running the household and being at the beck and call of the kids, because that's what we do. So I know what it's like.
Wow, busy. So transferring that all them skills to what we do now is mainly the paramount area that you work in. And the treatments that you do, can you just go through some of the treatments, Sharon, that are the main basis of your business?
Yeah, sure. When I started, I'd learned, and still over the years, I've learned loads of treatments. So I know I know enough to practice them all. But the ones that I've found most effective for people with sort of stress and anxiety were the reflexology and the Reiki and the meditation. So I think about 5 years ago, I decided to focus on just those three because I was getting results with those three. The clients were getting results from having treatment sessions with me. And also they would ask me questions about what shall I do, outside the session. And equally, I would ask them, what are you doing to support yourself when you're not with me for an hour? And a lot of the time they weren't really doing anything. They were just waiting for the next treatment and kind of going through the motions of whatever was causing them stress, thinking that, oh, I'll get sorted in a month when I go and see Sharon, I'll get sorted in a fortnight. But I encouraged them to do things for themselves outside the sessions.
I think that's a really big thing to focus in on, because it's not about just the treatment room, Sharon, is it? You know yourself from this. It's about, because you're treating somebody as one package, it's that package moves around, if you like. So we need to make sure the elements are covering it when they've left that treatment room, and your magic hands as well.
Yeah, because they need to be able to support themselves outside of the sessions. And also part of the session includes me asking them not just how you are, which we all need to know, and a few questions, but really how they are, why they're feeling stressed, why when they come in and, I can see their face and their body language, and it's they're not in a good place. It's kind of asking them, and they're happy to share that with me, what's caused them to feel like this. And then we can work on that and talk through that a little bit. I don't have any counselling skills, counselling qualifications, but I've got counselling skills. So I can help them to sort of unravel what's causing them to feel stressed or anxious, and then give them some tips and techniques of what they can do when they're not with me to help them with that.
When they're finished. And is there a recommended, I'm going to call it a dose, is there a recommended treatment plan that you would recommend to somebody who's maybe in a major, high, stressful senior employment role? Would there be as many?
I've got a few who are, and they come fortnightly. So they'll come for their treatment fortnightly, because they recognise that actually when they don't have their treatment, or they've missed a week for whatever reason, that they're desperate for the next one.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's kind of, we've worked it out, and it's different for everyone, because if they're already doing lots of things outside of the sessions, because they know that helps them, then they may just need a monthly session, one session a month, because on the other weeks they're doing other things that help them to, relax and stay calm and be focused.
That's right. And I've also read that you go within the workplaces as well. Are you still doing that, Sharon?
That slowed down a little bit, but I'm hoping to get back into that. Obviously with COVID and everything, and not everyone's back in the office.
That's right.
But what I will be doing is seeing those who haven't returned to the office. I'm going to be offering that as well, because it's well-being in the workplace, and in the workplace isn't actually in the office for everybody. Companies have got people working at home, so I'm going to try and accommodate those people by offering them similar sort of treatment that they would have in the office, but they come to me sort of on site somewhere.
Brilliant. I'm just thinking outside the little box here. Is there a way people can contact you? Obviously, you're down in Birmingham area. Is there a way people could contact you, that you could do help with it online, if you like? I know you have this fabulous ebook that you published in lockdown. That's available. Again, I'll come back to that, but this on the show notes, the link will be there for my listeners. is that a positive route for people if they're not obviously not in your area?
Yeah, if they're not in my area, then there's an ebook, and also developing some online workshops, if you like, so that people can access me that way as well.
Oh, that would be
There's
brilliant.
workshops that I'm already using. Thank you. I'm already using with a carer organisations that I work with. So I'm adapting those that I can use them and for people who aren't in that industry.
Oh, that's fantastic. Tell me about this ebook, because this started in lockdown. How did all this come about?
It did, yes. Yeah. Well, I've been thinking about writing something for a while, and you know what it's like. It's on the back burner. It'll happen eventually. It's a good idea, but I'm far too busy. So during lockdown, when things slowed down, I was still conscious that people still were stressed and anxious. And I was contacting my clients regularly over the phone just to check on them and sending them emails to check on them, see how they were. But I thought, well, how can I reach people who aren't my clients, who don't know me? And then I was encouraged by a friend to, get that ebook finished. So it's an ebook in terms that you download it, but there's also sections in it where you can work on yourself. So I'll ask the same questions that I would ask my clients if they were face to face, and then you can write your answers down.
Fabulous. That sounds amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's just what we need. And I think going back to how you were talking about the workplace has changed, everything's changed now as well, Sharon, isn't it?
Yeah.
And actually going into an office and working, it's quite a stressful situation anyway, pulling them away from that again and doing a treatment's a different angle on it, really. The other thing I was going to ask was, when people do come to you for a treatment, could you just run down maybe what happens if somebody's brand new to this and is stressed up to the hilt and really need to sort their life out? They haven't got time for themselves, their family's suffering, they maybe got financial trouble, that was just plucked out the sky. Just give me an idea what would happen when people come for treatment with you, Sharon.
Yeah, and that's quite typical. When they get to me, they are in that state, and sometimes it's kind of somebody said, try reflexology, it'll help you to relax. So that's why they've come to me. Brilliant. So we do a consultation. We do one over the phone just to make sure I'm the right person for them. They can get to know me a little bit more before we book the appointment. Then they'll complete their consultation form for their medical background, if you like. And then once we're in the treatment room, I'll ask them a few more questions just to see where they're coming from, where's this stress coming from, what sort of things they do to relax, and their diet as well, just a little bit in general about their diet, because that might be part of why they're feeling like they're feeling. And then I sometimes I'll say, so what do you want to get from the session? Usually they've booked 3 sessions because they know that one session isn't going to sort them out, which is always good. So we decide what they want to get from the session, and then we work through that. So they'll have their treatments once we've had a chat, and then I'll leave enough time at the end to sort of bring them round, if you like, and also have another chat about how they're feeling and suggest things that they can do outside the sessions.
And just from one reflexologist to another, do you find especially when somebody's under major stress like that, Sharon, do you find that when you start working the feet, things will come out maybe that they haven't wanted or felt the need to talk about? Yeah.
And it's especially when they're a new client, it's a bit delicate because I don't know how much they want to share.
Yeah.
Maybe that they've forgotten about that, or they just think, actually, I'll leave that until I know her. After an hour, I'm not going to be telling her everything. If it feels right to share more with them and they're open to it, then I will share more with them about what I've found and sort of ask questions to encourage them to talk about it if they want to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think as well, just hitting on that point as well, I hate using this word, is the healing crisis. I hate that word. But it's super powerful. It's super powerful. Being able to access areas until they're ready to talk about things or ready to release. I think it's so important for them to realize that this is part of their healing path and their journey. And the other thing I want to sit on that is do never be embarrassed. And I think people sometimes in senior roles have got such a big hat on, and I mean this in a positive way, that they're super strong and they can't be seen to get upset. Whereas a treatment like this really can break down a lot of barriers and make you quite emotional. But that's like, gosh, me, I've got my gold star in the nicest way. You know, we've got through something. And I think for people, you know more about the senior management roles than myself, but they're usually goal orientated and you know, they know where they're going. There's no plan B or C, it's A or nothing. And I think when they get into the nitty gritty of self-healing and self-caring for themselves, it's a new avenue.
And it's a release, because sometimes they're not able to do that in the work environment because of their role, and also how they portrayed themselves up until now and perceive themselves, and their staff and employees have seen them. It's difficult to soften, if you like, and be the real person. But in a treatment session, you know, it's a private session, and they can sort of relax more.
I love that. I think that's so important. With that, the other thing I want to bring in is the meditation and the Reiki, Sharon. So do you incorporate 3 treatments, or just as in what you feel is necessary?
I can incorporate the 3. If someone's really tense when they come for their treatment, we'll do a bit of meditation to start with. And then they can have either Reiki or the reflexology, or you know, a mixture of them both, depending on how they're feeling. And sometimes they'll come in and they've booked I'll book in for a reflexology, and when they get there, I think actually a Reiki might do you better. And they're open for me to advise.
I love that because you're working intuitively. I like that. You know, you pick up, as well as, if I'm talking about this in the right way, the stress levels and also the emotional levels, and for the therapist for yourself to bring everything up. I think that's fabulous. Do you find that obviously we talk about stress as a big word there. Do you find any other symptoms, I'm going to highlight them, from busy mums, or, as I said before, from the senior management roles, that are more common now maybe than they were a few years past?
I think if there's a symptom that comes up a lot, it's kind of headaches. And not being able to sleep because of the stress of the work or the stress of the situation. And sometimes it's not the work that's causing them the stress, it's the family life, things are happening in the family that are quite stressful as well. So we can deal with, recognize that, you know, I help them to recognize it's okay to feel stressed. You're going through a difficult time. You can't juggle all the balls all the time. You need to, you know, give yourself a break, in effect. And again, talk through what they can do outside the sessions to help themselves.
Excuse me. And they, after the first session, they've gone home with, say, I'm going to call it homework, if you like. It's not, but it's self-help for themselves outside your room. Do you find that they go ahead with it and they try it, or is it maybe session 2 or 3 when it starts to work?
Some are good, and we'll put it into place. And when I speak to them next year, they've done what I've asked or what I've suggested, and we talk about how it's worked or how it hasn't worked. And others, it's just, you know, the simple things like you need to drink more water. That will really help you because you've highlighted this, this, and this, and water will help you with that. And it doesn't happen after the first one. It doesn't happen after the second one. And at the third one, they're coming in saying, I drank more water and I feel wonderful, and this has stopped aching so much, and I can do this more. And some are slow burners, if you like, but I like to, get them there.
Oh no, that's brilliant. And we mentioned this at the beginning, was the workshops, and these are going to be, will these be more online, Sharon, these ones?
Yeah, I'm trying to do them more online, again, to reach more people, as opposed to just the local community. So those workshops are...
Sorry about that, Sharon. We're talking about the workshops.
Yes, yeah. So what happened with the workshops, I was doing a few workshops face-to-face before lockdown, and I do some work for a local carers trust. So I was doing some workshops with them. During lockdown, they contacted me to say, can you do something for our service users online? So I said, yes, I can do you some workshops. So I created some workshops for them and was running them online for them. And I thought, well, actually, I can do this for other carer organisations, similar ones. So I contacted a few and got some more work delivering those workshops online. So it's those workshops that I'm going to be expanding, if you like, to deliver them to individuals. So I shall put them out there for individuals to book on. So it's going to be things like self-care. And again, it's broadening the self-care so that it's not just the physical, it's the mental and the emotional as well. So they're thinking about themselves as a whole and what they can do for themselves. Again, mainly for ladies. And then there's meditation and mindfulness. So teaching people about those two ways of meditating so that they can start doing it on their own and start, enjoying the benefits of that and see if that's something that helps them to relax and de-stress.
Oh, sounds amazing. I'm just relaxed listening to your voice there, Sharon. Absolutely fabulous. Sharon, I would love to say thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your willingness to help and heal people who come through your door, because I think you're doing an amazing job. And by the way, people and listeners, please check out Sharon's website and her Facebook page. These will be all on the bottom at the show notes completed with this podcast, but also have a look at the reviews for Sharon, because they're fabulous reviews, really nice, heartfelt and spoken from the heart. You can really tell that they mean what they're saying. Just takes me to say thanks very much, Sharon, for being on the Right Balance podcast. And I hope to catch up with you again really soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Right Balance podcast. Hope you enjoyed the content. Please tell your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to the show. It will also be uploaded to the social media channels like Facebook and YouTube, including all the show notes. I hope you'll join me next week. Stay safe.